Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make these really cool salt egg geodes just in time for Easter this weekend. You are just going to need a couple of things that you probably have around your house, and you'll be able to use what we've been talking about with evaporation this week to create something really awesome. Let's get started. You're going to need some iodized salt. You can try sea salt or another type of salt as well. A measuring cup, a couple of bowls, some food coloring, a few eggs. You can do more than two or just one, either way. A tablespoon, and I forgot to mention you'll also need a pot. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna just tap around the top of the egg, and you can see I'm just kind of turning the egg and gently tapping it on the side of the bowl. And then you're gonna take your fingernail and just kind of get under there and gently pull it apart. And then just let that drop in the bowl and you can set it aside. And it really just depends on where you want it. You can crack it right in the middle of the egg if you want. You can go more towards the top. It's completely up to you where you want your egg to crack. Just kind of gently tap it all the way around in the same spot and you're good to go. All right, next we're going to clean out the eggs. There's a really thin membrane that's on the inside of the egg, and if you don't get that out, it's going to not work as well. So you want to just gently kind of rub your finger along the inside of the egg to get out that really thin skin that's in there. You can see I'm just kind of almost peeling it, like grabbing it, but you do want to be careful because you're dealing with a fragile egg. Just kind of peel all that off. It's actually kind of satisfying, really. Don't forget, after you clean these eggs, you need to make sure to wash your hands too, and wash any surfaces that may have come in contact with the raw egg. The next step is to heat up some water. Make sure you have an adult help you with this. You want to turn your heat on medium-high heat and take about a half a cup of water, put it in your pot, and you don't need it to be a full boil. You almost just want to get the water to where it's almost boiling. So you can see some bubbles starting to appear down there on the bottom, but it's not quite boiling yet. At this point, you're good to turn off your heat and take the pot off of the heat source. The next step is we are going to add our salt to our water. So we're just going to take some iodized salt, or you can try sea salt or kosher salt or another type of salt as well to see how that works. So I'm going to take about a tablespoon and I'm going to start to stir it into my water, dissolving it. So what we're creating right now is a solution when we dissolve solids into a water. And the whole idea here is that we are going to saturate the water to the point where it cannot take on any more salt. So you can see it dissolving here just as you slowly stir it around. The heat is helping it break apart and dissolve. I'm going to add another tablespoon here, and I almost added a little too much. I got it a little oversaturated. It's fine, it'll still work, but you almost only could use about a tablespoon and a half if you really wanted to. I also had to put it back on the heat for just a second to let it continue to dissolve. So if you need to do that as well, go ahead and just put it back on low and just monitor it and keep stirring it until it's mostly dissolved in. So once you have most of your salt dissolved in and it looks something like this, you're good to move on to the next step. If you want different colored eggs, you'll want to break your water apart into as many bowls as you want different colors. If you want them all just to be one color, then you can really just do this next step in the pot. But I wanted 3 different colors, so I separated mine out into 3 different bowls. And then just add a few drops of food coloring. Of course, the more you add, the deeper the color is going to be. The next step is to fill your eggs with the solution. So you want them to be standing upright for this step. I used a little mini muffin pan to help achieve this, but if you don't have one of those, you could use some smaller bowls, or you could even use the egg carton if you don't have any more eggs left in them. All right, and now you're good. Once you have them all filled up, you just gotta let them sit and wait for them to do their magic. So after about 5 days and leaving them in the sun the last day to help the water evaporate faster, here is what is left. And you can see the awesome growth there on the top and how it even kind of permeated the shell, which is just really neat. The last one, the yellow one, I decided to change it. The third day after some of the water had evaporated, I added a drop of the pink and the blue to get this really cool tie-dye effect. Now, don't forget, you still have those eggs that you used, and we want to make sure that we are making use of them. So go whip them up, make them into something tasty, maybe even a little treat for a furry friend. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you decide to do the experiment, please share your results. I would love to see them.